I see some energy in the room still. There is hope. It's amazing to be here. Great pleasure. As always, an amazing event. This is really inspiring to me to be here and sharing some thoughts with you. And actually, I can tell you, I work a lot on public speaking and things like that, and being the last speaker is always tough. So I have the mission here to come up with you and make some sense or meaning out of what we have learned today, and we have learned a lot. So I'd like to start by asking, do you know this man? Who knows this man? Are you guys in business? This is a man that really coined more than 50 years ago something that, for me, gives the reality of the business. We just spoke about reality. So if you're in business, this is the reality of a business. The purpose of business is to create a customer. And what I propose is that we make a reflection as we finish the day about exactly what all those technologies mean to create a customer. And I don't know, the video didn't say that where I am from. I'm from Brazil. And there are people that could say that Brazilians are passionate for being passionate. This is true, but also I'm passionate about other things. First is the customer, but also I'm passionate about the company that I work for, because they give me the opportunity to work on things that are really exciting. I am one of the digital transformation leaders of SAP, one of the largest software companies in the world. And in my role, I have two sides. I have the digital side, which has to do with the capabilities. Most of them we have heard today. And the second side is the transformation, which has to do with the leadership. And this is where, honestly, is what's kind of driving me. One of my passion is leadership and how we can use those capabilities to create an impact in the world. And I also had the opportunity recently to be part of the 10X initiative here in Dubai, the Dubai 10X. Who have heard of Dubai 10X before? So when it comes to leadership and digital capabilities, Dubai is leading the way through the 10X. I was the jury of the ideas that have been presented that will put Dubai 10 years ahead of any other city. And this is something that just gives us hope, because if the government is having the vision and showing us the way, companies that are looking for customers and they have profits, and all of you will be somehow trying to make meaning of those customers, it's big hope for us. And in that process, I work a lot, I travel a lot with the customers and I talk to them. And most of those customers, they come to me and they seek for opportunity for growth. And they want to do that by developing relationships and empathetic thinking with those customers. And what I always tell them, you need to be able to step into somebody else's world. You need to have empathy. And that's the journey that I'm going to share with you today. Just to summarize, if you are in business, you got to have empathy to drive that business. And the empathy that we're talking about here will drive us through a process that starts by using the technology, as we heard before, to sense what's happening in the world and understand what is their beliefs, understand what they really care about. And this is where we can use analytics, big data, Internet of Things, all those technologies. So our neighbor, Argentina, in Buenos Aires, they have a big issue. They actually have big floods that are actually impacting people's lives. Lives are being lost because of floods in that region. So we are using the technology to implement sensors and sense what's going on through the Internet of Things platforms there in order to avoid those floods to take out more lives. And actually, it's working. Buenos Aires has reduced those deaths big time because they now use the technology in a very meaningful way. They were empathetic about those lives and they use technology in a meaningful way. But also I'm working with Under Armour, which are going beyond being a company that provides an apparel, which they expect to do a transaction with you, and they want to be more relevant to customers. And how they do that? By using empathy. They are retrieving information, they are using all the data that they have to use that data to become more empathetic by focusing on your health and well-being. And they do an exercise to become a large connected fitness network using the lifestyle data with all the transactional data, bringing that to become a single view of the customer to deliver back to them something very meaningful. We also heard today about things like machine learning, artificial intelligence. And the way we use that to create a customer and to have empathy is by inspiring the experiences that shape how they look to the world and how they look to themselves. This is where we can use machine learning in a meaningful way. If you are not convinced by now, this is really the most disruptive capability over the next 10 years. Trust me. And this is a great example. There is a countdown that began. The world versus AI. Do you know what's the difference between this picture here? What is a puppy? What's a muffin? Just right there. Can you quickly tell me? As a matter of fact, when you look at the ImageNet, which is a large database of images, just a few years ago, the capability of the machine against the capability of the human to understand an image like that, there was a huge gap. We humans were much better than the machine. But just a couple of years ago, this has changed, right? So we saw here some examples that demonstrates that the machine now can do amazing things when they look at images. And we deal with companies, and those companies, they want to use this kind of technology, again, to create a customer and to be empathetic to that customer. And here we are using image recognition in a day-to-day call center interaction. And beyond understanding the identity of the user, of the person, we are also analyzing the emotion of that person. And that emotion helps us to deal with them in a more meaningful way. We are also training chatbots that will communicate and interact with all of us with much more empathetic way. So if you want to book a room, this is an example we have in our co-innovation area in Silicon Valley. You just do that interaction through a chatbot, which deals with you in a much more empathetic way, and you can actually get information as you need. But then, after we inspire those experiences, we will create expectations, and we need to fulfill those expectations. And beyond that, we need to build trust for those exchange of values to happen. And this is where we see the blockchain. This is where we see the application of a digital core in your organization that has industry focus, and you can fulfill those expectations. There is a manufacturer of travel accessories. They are one of our customers, and they have been very successful in their omni-channel and commerce platform using the Hybris platform, and they are selling a lot of those travel accessories. But what happens is that they have a challenge right now. Their customers, they want to use those accessories, they want to have access to that in the same day. What's the solution to that? I really like the concept of the platform, because they don't need to create a logistics network from scratch. They can use the riders and the bikers from Uber, and they just tap that through an API, which leverage these people to come to the store and bring this to their customers. So we can fulfill an expectation, augmenting our business models using APIs and the platforms that are out there. And of course, blockchain is the greatest opportunity we have. We are moving to the second era of transfer of value. We have heard about that here. It's beyond a peer-to-peer cash system. It goes beyond that because we can apply that to transactions in the business. So it's the trust protocol that we need to create transparency, manage those transfers of value, and really focus on taking that to the next level. What it gives to us is a multi-party collaboration. And I want to share with you some of the cases that I see more value. One of them, do you know in the building that you work or that you live, if the fire risk assessment has been done? We've seen fires in buildings very much affecting the life of people, especially in this region. What if we could have a blockchain that certified that this has been done and everybody has access to that? Or what if you go to the immigration and you don't have to deal with papers all the time? This is what we are doing in Italy, in South Tyrol, using blockchain for the government. And what excites me is when we use blockchain to help us to make more money. This is the kind of work we do in blockchain for peer-to-peer energy marketplace in microgrids. So you generate your energy, you get paid for that, and blockchain is the enabler. So one of the things that we use in our company, and I suggest to you, is to apply design thinking methodology to create empathy, to create the customers. So design thinking brings together the business, brings together the technology and the people. And you find in the intersection what is really the way to address the challenges that you have ahead of you in your business. We have to be more human-centric to create an exponential growth. So think of all those technologies in your leadership to innovate, but also to create something that's integrated, not only from a technology point of view, but integrated as a journey to the customer that you are serving. And finally, you need to have the robustness of a platform that helps you to scale. And I want to end the last talk here with a saying from Pablo Picasso. He says that computers are useless. They can only give you answers. And I hope everybody here in this room will be posing the questions that will help us to create empathy and help us to improve the lives of the people out there. Thank you very much for your time.